guys, welcome back to Mika Reaction Reviews, where we react and review to things on the internet. And today we are returning to Tom MacDonald, and he has yet again dropped a Friday video, and it is called Dummies. I'm feeling People So Stupid vibes. By the way, welcome Hog Fam, stand up. He released this video less than 24 hours ago and it already has 1.3 million views and 176,000 likes. Is that a record? I feel like he keeps topping himself, right? So we're gonna get right into it, but before we do, if you like these type of videos, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell to get the notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. It helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe, and sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. All right, here we go.
I love the earth, but I don't really want to save it. Everything is sexist, homophobic, or it's racist. When life gives us lemons, we're supposed to want to change it, but my generation rather take some pills than escape it. Say that I'm transphobic if you wanna, but one day I'll be a father, and I really hope my son don't grow up to be my daughter. I ain't trying to hurt your feelings, skin should be a little thicker. That's the problem, being honest got them triggered. The kids are getting weaker cause they're sheltered by society. Pumpkin spice Ativan for seasonal anxiety. Wokeness has become a way to bully non-violently and cancel everyone without improving on the life we live. Without the white, there's no black. Without the straight, there's no gay. Without the men, there's no women. Without the night, there's no day. Without the idiots, we couldn't laugh at them when they fall. So maybe we need them after all.
Alright, stopping it there. Alright. So this is another common sense video from Tom MacDonald, which I assumed, according to the title. He started off with the lyrics by saying, I love the earth, but I don't want to save it, or something like that. And honestly, it sounds morbid but sometimes I'm like, can we please have the second coming already? Can we please just like start over, recycle, dispose? Like, we need like just to wipe the slate clean again. Like, come on, because sometimes you're just like, you look around and you're just like, this is too much. Of course, personally, I want to be a better person, and I want to be a better person in the ways that I can, and that is including being more environmentally friendly. Like, I'm not going to become obsessed with it, but I do what I can. But sometimes you're just like, you know what, light the thing on fire, I don't care. Like, this year has been so insane that sometimes I am like, man, maybe this is the end, and if it is, I'm not that mad about it. Like, I'm not scared of like perishing, you know what I mean? I don't want to die too young. Like, I want to like experience life, but the silver lining is we don't have to deal with this bullshit anymore. But all seriously, life is great, life is good, but sometimes you just look around and you're like, it's a fucking mess. He hit on the T that is a part of the LGBTQ plus community, and about how he will like his child to grow up. I don't personally feel that way, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel that way. And of course, it's not even the fact that you just don't want to have to deal with that transformation, but you don't want your child to have to go through hardships either. From what I hear, gender dysphoria is a mental disorder that can be paralyzing. That is a very hard, rough thing to have to deal with, and why would you wish that on your child? The children or this generation is so weak because they're sheltered. We've talked about this multiple times on this channel. Bulldozing parenting, helicopter parenting, and attachment parenting, I think, are one of some of the worst styles of parenting that has, you know, the millennials and the generation before the millennials and Gen Zers have produced, and it's terrible. We need to get rid of it. And of course, tiger momming and really super strict and super religious and abusive parenting is also the worst type of parenting. But we went from that to raising really weak children or weak adults because, again, we try to bulldoze every obstacle out of their way and try to convince them that the world is supposed to cater to you. The world is supposed to like care about your feelings and your lived experience, and everybody's supposed to bend over backwards to make sure that you're sheltered, and that's not how the real world is supposed to work. I actually really like the look of this video as well. It's really fun and playful. He has a black contacts in, but he's not going in hard like he usually do, so he did a bit of a bait and switch, or a little bit of a switch up with that. But I like the sound of the song, and I like the look of the song. Like, it gives me like, what was that emoji heart something, the song that he did with Brandon and Nova. That look is giving me that feel to it, and I like it because it's more youthful, and it can maybe relate to the younger generation who who may need to hear what Tom MacDonald has to say. And I also like the fact that he hit on, you know, being honest got you triggered. There is a difference between being an asshole and then being honest, because some people are just assholes. But I was watching a video with Ben Shapiro, and don't remember his name, that black guy that's really smart, that's really into science. I forgot his name. But they were talking about gender dysphoria or gender issues. And Ben Shapiro kind of made a point of like, why is it not okay to just speak facts anymore? Or like, why is it not okay just to say it plainly the way it is? Why is that becoming a thing that's being pushed back? You know what I mean? To basically cater to other people's feeling. Neil Grayson Tyson or something like that. You know who I'm talking about, him. He made a good point as well, saying like, you know, this is how our society is today, and we do need to recognize that people do identify with different gender fluidities and not have to always question it, not have to always put under a microscope. But we should be able to just say facts and just plainly speak without that being shut down or being accused of being phobic in some way or some shape, form, or another. All right, let's continue.
Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Hey, yo! I guess you love to be wrong. You don't have the guts of the balls. Hey, yo! Dum 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 diddy dum 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 diddy dum. I love the earth, but I don't really wanna save it. Everyone's obsessed with making stupid people famous. If a white boy raps, then it's called appropriation. But Beyonce dyes her hair blonde and people say she slayed it. Everybody's outraged, everybody's mad. Our solutions to the issues don't make no sense. If stairs are the problem, we build wheelchair ramps. We don't cancel feet or persecute the people with legs. The feminists who started the movement would be ashamed of so many things. They fought so you can vote, I show your butthole on OnlyFans. I'm not a bad person cause you don't like what I say. Call me homophobic just because I think straight. I love people even though we disagree. I wish we could get Wi-Fi signals from a tree. Then everyone would plant them and we'd probably save the planet for free. Too bad we only need them to breathe.
That's true.
Wow, he said a lot again. What did he say? He hit on the cultural appropriation thing. Like, he's done that a few times. And to play devil's advocate, to play what other people would argue with the whole Beyonce dyeing her hair blonde, is the fact that there are cultures around the world with people with brown skin who naturally are born with blonde hair. So that's the argument that the black community usually has when people say, well, why can black people wear blonde hair? And that's not cultural appropriation. My brother was actually born with blonde hair, and he has greenish, bluish, grayish eyes that change color with the seasons. So jealous. And then I have a cousin he has blonde hair and blue eyes, and he has brown skin. So that would be the argument, just to play devil's advocate. But I also have spoke plenty of times about the cultural appropriation braids thing, where there has been societies and cultures that have been wearing braids and rocking braids since the planet was formed. The Vikings, the Greeks, the Romans, a lot of Asian communities have wore their hair in braids. It's just that because of Rasta or Rastafarians kind of brought back dreads into popularity in Western culture, people kind of automatically thought that that is where it originated from, where many other cultures, I think even cultures in Ireland back in the day, like any other cultures, have been rocking their hair in braids and dreads long before Rastafarian became popular in the West. He hit on the whole feminist thing, like they fought for equal rights for women just so you can show your butt on OnlyFans. I get people's argument with that. At the same time, I do think feminism did fight for the right to girls to be able to show their buttholes on OnlyFans. I have no problem with sex work. I just think because society has been so dumbed down, that is being overtly sexual has been pushed a lot in progressive circles, and a lot of young girls can fall into that lifestyle thinking that this is what they need and this is what they want, thinking they're being progressive, thinking they're being, you know, I am woman, hear me roar, and get themselves in a lot of uncomfortable situations that they're not necessarily mature enough to actually deal with, or not understand the ramifications or the consequences of their actions as they get older. We fight too hard to make stupid people famous. Very true. If you guys remember the Gorilla Glue hair girl, the Gorilla Glue hair girl made a few $100, or at least a couple of $100,000 off of that whole Gorilla Glue hair mess. She put Gorilla Glue in her hair. And even if she did that just for clout, that still does not show a signs of intelligence. And people ran to her aid to make that girl wealthy or to put money in her pockets. Like, we have the Logan Pauls of the world, we have the Bad Babies of the world, we have a lot of people that have made a lot of money and out of being famous out of just being idiots, just being asshole, being dumbed down, not being intellectually smart or anything like that. And it's really sad, especially in the Black community, where we support a lot of bullshit, a lot of ratchetness, a lot of dumb stuff, but then if it's a Black doctor who happens to be a Republican, we want to disinvite him from the Black cookout, or we want to take his Black heart away from him. You know, Kanye West, a self-made billionaire, oh, because he rocked a Trump hat, we want to disown him somehow. But we would support a lot of stupid nonsense as long as they keep going along with the narrative. It's basically boils down to the West having junk values. We value junk values. Go read the book Lost Connections. They talk about that in there. One of the reasons why the West deals with so much mental health issues is because the values we have are substandard. He also talked about, I don't know if it was in this verse or the last verse, but he also talked about woke people, like basically bullying people into wokeness or something like that. Recently, the soccer team, the U.S. soccer team that lost at the Olympics came out, some of the soccer players came out and said that they felt bullied by that purple hair soccer player girl who was like basically forcing everybody to kneel. And basically it has become a new form of bullying. It's a non-violent way of bullying, like Tom MacDonald said, where it's like you're disguising under sort of like virtuousness or righteousness, but you're just being a bully. But you think that it's okay to be a bully, it's okay to be an asshole because I'm doing it for the right cause. It's the same thing as vegans. When militant vegans go around being complete assholes to everybody else and they kind of justify it by going, well, it's for the animals. It's for the animals so I can be a dick. I can be an asshole to you because it's for the animals. You know what I mean? Where it's like, maybe you're just a bully who happens to be a vegan. Maybe you're just a bully who is disguising under wokeism. I love how he threw in there, and I love that bit of that cadences right there in that verse when he says like, I love people even though we disagree. I love that. I love it because like, there's still people who attack him and accuse him of being racist or phobic of whatever class that they decide to throw out there, but his message in almost all his songs has always been, hey, let's come together, let's unify. We might not agree on everything, but let's stop letting these labels like divide us basically, and let's have a conversation. We're all human beings at the end of the day. And I like that cadence part. I like how we say we build ramps for people in wheelchairs and we don't persecute people with legs. Actually, some people probably do persecute people with legs. People call people ableist and stuff like that. Somebody could be like, I'm so happy I had a great walk today on the beach, and somebody accused them of being ableist. But yeah, he's right. We don't persecute people just because they have the privilege to be born healthy, to be born able-bodied, to be born pretty, to be born rich, to be born with eyesight, to be born with gifts and intelligence and a high IQ. We shouldn't persecute people for being born with some certain amount of privileges. We just kind of help uplift those who didn't get born with those things. We help uplift those who weren't born rich, who weren't born able-bodied, who weren't born who can see and hear. You don't have to push down one group of people to try to uplift another. It's the same thing with like the fat positivity community, where they'll criticize people who are fit and skinny to somehow make that uplift people who are bigger. You don't have to criticize white people to uplift black people. You don't have to criticize men to uplift women. You don't have to criticize straight people to uplift the LGBTQ plus community. You don't have to persecute another group of people to uplift another group of people. You can leave those people alone and still uplift and help the people that you think that needs a helping hand or an extra handout or whatever. Alright, let's get back into it.
That's true.
Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Hey, yo! I guess you love to be wrong, or you don't have the guts of the balls. Hey, yo! Dum 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 diddy dum 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 diddy dum. I love that.
All right, I like the chorus, by the way. I think it's really, really, really catchy. Like it's just simple and catchy. And I can see people singing along to this at concerts. Dum dum dee dum dum dee dum dum dee dum dee 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 dum. You know what I mean? Just like walking around just saying it. So the chorus Good job on course. And again, I like the look of the video. It's fun. He's talking about something serious, but it's really fun. And he's really good at doing that. Like bringing up serious topics or topics that's in the culture today, but still putting like a silly spin on it so it can like digest easier, I guess. All right, let's continue.
Earth, but I don't really want to save it. Classifying people by their sex and race degrades them, but we still say straight white males are the worst of our population. Guess the labels are okay if they're Caucasian. Our kids are living in their rooms, I swear we barely ever see them. Go outside sometime, there's fresh air you could be breathing. Put your phones down, play sports, do something illegal. Go and meet your families, they're probably nice people. These days you're a Nazi if you don't hate the police. They say that white folks think all Asian people are Chinese. I'm sorry, what kind of white people you mean? English, Scottish, German, Swedish, or Greek? And Black Lives Matter was problematic. It excludes anyone without the pigment, it's automatic. I understand all the reasons it happened, but including all humans is the actual answer.
Okay. The end of that was perfect. Including all humans is the actual answer. Yes, we cannot fight racism with racism, despite what critical race theory people think. We cannot fight racism with racism. We cannot fight segregation with segregation. We cannot fight bigotry with more bigotry. And we cannot fight more ignorance with more ignorance. The answer has always been to include all of us. Even back when there was legal segregation and legal racism, the answer was to include everybody and treat everybody equally and everybody the same. And that's not what we're doing right now. People are trying to do what I just kind of exampled a second ago. Push down one group of people to uplift another group of people, and that is not the answer. And I like that the fact that he said, like, I understand why Black Lives Matter happened. I get it. I just don't think that was the answer. And I agree with him. I agree with the fact and the belief that Black Lives Matter. But the organization is problematic. And the movement became problematic. Their theory, their ideology, the way they move, the way they behave became problematic. Because first of all, it's not about Black lives, it's about their ideology. Because when there are little black kids who get shot in Chicago, when there's black on black violence, not a peep, not one peep. They haven't come up and defended black people who don't want to get the poke, not a peep. It's about their ideology. I was on some conversation on YouTube, and it was a really good video that another person of color made, another black person made, about basically saying what Tom MacDonald said. And there was another commenter that said, well, the problem is poor black communities that don't have a lot of resources in their schools. I was like, that is poor communities. Poor communities usually have a lack of resources. It is not just black poor communities. Can we stop pretending that all black people are poor? Can we stop pretending that all black people are on the brink of death? So if we stop focusing on race so much and more focus on people who just need help, whether that you're black, white, or Asian, whatever, man, woman, child, if you need help, we will focus on that instead of having this sort of racial, gender, sex divide on who's more oppressed, you're more oppressed, so you need more help or whatever. So like, he's right. If we include everybody, it actually brings people more on board with the issue. When you put race or sex and gender on top of that, it turns people off. It turns people away. It is not because they're not good people. People are just generally naturally going to be drawn to whatever benefits them. So if you're saying like, I'm only going to benefit this group of people, it's going to naturally divide and turn people away from that issue. But if you include everybody who needs help, let's help everybody who's poor, everybody who's low income, everybody who's suffering, and stop dividing it. That is the key. That brings us together. But they don't want us to come together because it's divide and conquer. And I love how he said that classifying people on their sex or race degrades them. Thank you. Thank you. How many times have you seen a non-binary progressive or somebody a part of the LGBTQ plus or some black person or whatever say that you're dehumanizing me? You're dehumanizing me by not recognizing my lived experience. But how is it not dehumanizing by just labeling people all the time? And then when you put that label on them, you go, I know that person, I judge that person's over there. You know what I mean? It's the same thing as like labeling someone a Karen. You're basically saying your lived experience doesn't matter, your feelings don't matter, whatever you're going through does not matter, you're racist and you're bigot because I just labeled you Karen and that is it. How is that not dehumanizing? By putting people under labels and by shoving people into boxes. That in itself is dehumanizing. Stop it. I love how he said our kids are living in our rooms and we barely either see them go outside, breathe fresh air. I mean, especially now when kids have been shoved into their rooms because of lockdowns and stuff like that. Basically making them more unhealthy physically and mentally and emotionally, making them more socially awkward because some of these kids are being locked down at that age where they need to be socialized with other kids and other people. But that was an issue way before that kids are glued to the TV, glued to their video games, glued to their phones, glued to their electronic devices. Where I live, where the places that I usually put myself in, which are small towns, small cities, villages and stuff like that, you see kids still running around, getting dirty, playing cricket, climbing trees, riding their bikes until the street lights come on. You know what I mean? Still just being kids. And it doesn't mean they don't have any electronic devices, but they spend most of their time outside with their friends. I remember being in Indonesia and I was in a small village. And when I say village, like, it's probably not what you think. It's not like straw huts and mud huts. It's like regular houses and stuff like that. They're just classified as villages or provinces. And like walking around seeing little kids playing tag and hide and seek, and I literally almost like got a tear in my eye because it was like I haven't seen that in the US in so long. 11-year-olds are now on TikTok just sexualizing themselves. Like, it's really, really pathetic. It's really sad. And again, it's going to be the downfall of the West. Because other countries, they're still making their kids go outside. They're still making their kids make sure they get their homework done, take their education seriously. It's going to be the downfall of the West. And how he kind of pointed out all the different white people, English, Scottish, Germans, Greek, stuff like that, would make me think about is when you hear people say like, oh, white people don't have culture, and that's why they're always cultural appropriating. Like, again, you know, they do have lineages. They do have heritage. So there's Greek cultures, there's German cultures, there's Scottish cultures, there's Eastern European cultures. There's tons of cultures that belong within European race, which is pretty much white people. That's where you come from. That's your ancestry. You know what I mean? And then there's just flat out American culture or London culture, Denmark culture, Norway culture, wherever from Europe you're from. All right. He said a lot. I know I'm saying a lot. Hopefully you already watched the video. Let's get back into it.
Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. I guess you love to be wrong. You don't have the guts or the balls. Dum 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 diddy dum 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 diddy dum dum.
2 new albums September 3rd. 2 new albums September 3rd. Who is one of the hardest working independent artists on the planet right now? Tom MacDonald. Said one of, so don't get your pennies in a bunch. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Look, I watched the beginning of Crip's critique. I didn't watch the entire thing. I didn't even like really listen to the songs. I wanted to have a genuine reaction to this song. I kind of just clicked on it, saw the dislike ratio, and decided to start looking at the comment section. And according to his title of his thumbnail, it says something like, "Dude, really need another one of these," or something like that. And I'm assuming, because I haven't watched his video yet, but I'm assuming his opinion was, okay, here we go again. Like, this is another video that Tom MacDonald was making about the same sort of subject. Can we move on or whatever? And someone did really point out that the last 6 albums that Tom MacDonald, or the last 6 singles that Tom MacDonald dropped, only 3 of them were politically or culturally charged. The other 3 he did Don't Look Down, he did Withdraws, and he did that whole Cherry Pie with Brendan Hart and Nova Rockefeller. Brendan Tatum is the commentary guy. I went on Tom MacDonald's channel because I wanted to see for myself, like, is it really that bad, or is he really making that many more videos about the same thing over and over again? And I stopped it at when I got to a year, and I counted all the videos, and I think over 10 of them had nothing to do with politics or cultural issues. So he's known for these type of songs. He got famous because of this type of songs. He blew up and went viral because of these type of songs. But he has done so many more songs than this. And so I totally disagree that it's overdone and that he needs to stop or he needs to move on or this is becoming repetitive. Because if you look at his repertoire, he has plenty of other videos and other songs that has nothing to do with politics or what's going on today in our culture. So I disagree with that. I think it may seem like that because because he's popular about these things and because he's well known for these type of videos, but I disagree. Does he repeat some of the same things in his video? Yeah, I'm gonna admit to that. Like the whole cultural appropriation, he's said that a few different times. But at the same time, you have to also give the people what they want. And if you look at the number of views that Tom MacDonald has gotten in less than 24 hours and the number of likes, like 176,000 likes compared to a little over 1,000 dislikes. This is what people want, and this is what people want to hear right now. This is what people need to hear right now. And so, yeah, like maybe someday he will move on from this type of genre and this type of niche, and he would get sick of it, or we won't need it to hear it anymore. The audience don't ask for it anymore. But right now, this is what the people want to hear. This is what his audience wants to hear. And a lot of people feel like the world is going mad and it's going crazy, and they want someone to speak up, and people are happy that someone that looks like Tom MacDonald, he doesn't look like a button-up conservative, that looks like Tom MacDonald, that behaves like Tom MacDonald, that talks like Tom MacDonald, are saying things that people feel like needs to be said. So I think Tom MacDonald are going to keep making these songs along that needs to be said and along that people wants to hear it. But to say that, oh, here we go again, he's making another song like that. If you look at his repertoire once again, if you look at his catalog of music, just within this year, not even within this year, because I didn't go through the whole year, but just within like the last at least 8-9 months, over 10 of his songs had nothing to do with politics. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I know that's some of the criticism, and I wanted to sort of address the criticism, I guess. But anyway, guys, that was it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really, once again, really like the hook. I really like the look of this song, and I like what he had to say, because I love videos where like give me an opportunity to talk to you guys. Like, it's fun just bobbing my head and dancing to music. We all love that stuff, but I love videos that lets me talk, because I'm a fucking talker if you haven't noticed. Blah blah blah, yappity yappity me. Some of you pointed that out. Got it. Totally registered. Don't care though. Anyway, guys, that's it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. What I said, what Tom MacDonald said, let me know in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that button to get the notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support this channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course, it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. I also have a second travel vlog channel. As I mentioned before, I travel or I live abroad as a lifestyle. So if you'd like to know where I am in the world, you can go in the description box below. Hit the link. Go subscribe to my travel vlog channel and or follow me on Instagram. My stories is usually what's most up to date, and you guys have an amazing day. Bye.